We need Star Wars The Clone Wars back. Hello there, welcome to another video. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you never miss a single video that we do. Now, let's get into it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Star Wars The Clone Wars had to end eventually. That's what happens when you make a show. And there's nothing worse than when a show just feels like it's dragging on and it just won't end. And it starts to get bad and then it starts to ruin the stuff that came before. Like, I get that. When I say we need Star Wars The Clone Wars back, I don't mean Star Wars The Clone Wars the actual TV show. I mean the type of TV show Star Wars The Clone Wars was. See, back in Clone Wars, the title being Star Wars The Clone Wars meant you could make anything you wanted in the timeline of the Clone Wars while the Clone Wars was happening. They had droid tales, they had bounty hunter stories, they had political stories, they had like Sherlock Holmes types of investigation stories, and it wasn't just about the actual war that was going on. It was about so many different characters, new and old. This is why the Clone Wars almost never got old, because the main plot, of course, is the Clone Wars, but there's so many characters that they create around it and during the time. Like, Cad Bane was only created in the Clone Wars. He has 2 or 3, 4 episode arcs with him in it as like, maybe not the main character, but one of the main characters. Don't get me started about the clones in the show being great characters by themselves, but I am saying we need a period show. A show where the main story is the timeline that they're in. They can tell any story that they want. And maybe they could make it about 2 or 3 characters loosely. I want a show called Star Wars Imperial Rule. This could take place after Bad Batch, or it could take place in the beginning of Bad Batch. It could take place right after episode 3 and could tell a story about stormtroopers. Make it about stormtroopers. Make some of the main characters them, or just tell a story about, it could even go back and be about the main characters. It could be loosely about Darth Vader. There's a whole comic series about everything that happens to him right after episode 3, and it is very, very eventful. It could be about Ahsoka and where she directly goes right after episode 3. Obviously, like, it could be about the Clone Wars characters loosely, and then bring in new characters that are like the main characters and jump around with each set. I really don't care what exactly they do. I just want a Clone Wars type show where they can tell a story about any character that they wanted in a timeline where everything is changing for everyone. Right after episode 3 is the most interesting and juicy time in Star Wars. There are still Jedi alive, there are still clones that are alive and, you know, not super old. Darth Vader's running around, Darth Maul is running around, Ahsoka doesn't know which way she needs to go, and like it's so interesting, and it has barely been covered, at least on screen. I know there's a lot of stuff in the comics, like I said, about the Darth Vader stuff and all that other great stuff, but I'm saying on screen we have the Bad Batch and the end of the Clone Wars. That is it. And in my opinion, that is a crime. We had little drips of it from Tales of the Jedi with that Ahsoka story that they told where she was like working in a farm or whatever. And just that was really, really cool. And it was like 13 minutes. There's just so much potential in that exact time. The first 10 years, like starting from episode 3, the first 10 years leading up to how strong the Empire ends up being, and we have absolutely nothing. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe here and subscribe to my other channel called Stop Motion Commotion, where I make fan films, and I will be making a lot of content in that time of Star Wars because it is amazing. But that's all I got for you guys today. Bye.